Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Kygon. Up here today, guys. I wanted to do something a little bit different here. Um, so I don't know if you guys ever remember this, but years ago I did some videos where I talked about some of my childhood memories. I covered things like VHS and older websites and things like that. But those videos, I was planning to do a series out of it, but I was going to focus on things from my childhood that no longer exist today, or if they do exist, it's not the same. But today I wanted to talk about 5 things that I had great memories of as a kid, and all of these things still exist today, but unfortunately they no longer have the same appeal is when I was a kid. And it's not necessarily a case of I've grown up and I've grown out of it. It's just these things have just been sort of, they've changed over years, or they've forgotten about them, or they no longer have these things to the point where I really enjoyed them. So it's not going to just be focused on one thing here. These are all they're different places and stuff like that, so it's a bit of a mismatch here. But I want you to share this with you. I've been thinking about doing this for a while. So I've got 5 things that have changed from my childhood and no longer the same experiences that I have. So these are 5 experiences that have changed throughout my that have changed big time. I don't know what I'm going to call this video, but anyway, so first up, I'm going to start off with McDonald's. Now, I know this is going to be a weird one, but as a kid, one of the greatest things I had as a kid was when my mum and dad would say, oh, we're going out for dinner, or we're going to go to McDonald's, or, a fast food restaurant. When you were told you're going to get pizza delivered from like Pizza Hut or Domino's, it was amazing. You're like, oh my god, yay. At least for me, we weren't exactly the richest family. I know nowadays people can order, you have things like Just Eat and stuff like that, and it's so easy to get things delivered to your house. I'm not a huge takeaway person. I do get some takeaways here and there. But McDonald's is the one that I loved as a kid. And it wasn't necessarily the actual food. It was more the experience of going to McDonald's. McDonald's when I was young was so awesome. You had these big like restaurants that were just the everything from the decorations, the furniture, the everything of McDonald's was so bright and colourful, and it was like an experience going to McDonald's. I have seen a few McDonald's that still have like the kids play areas today. There's actually one where I live, a bit further up from where I live, but it still has the indoor play area. Not necessarily for me, but and it's such a shame because my son and my daughter will be growing up with this, and when they go to McDonald's and they get older and they go, I'll be telling them, look, it wasn't like this. McDonald's still have kids things. They have like the activity packs and they Happy Meals, but it's not the same, guys. You walk into a McDonald's now and it's so bland. It's literally just grey walls, grey furniture, basic, bland, no advertising, no more Ronald McDonald, no more Ronald McDonald was pretty creepy, I ain't gonna lie, if you don't like clowns, so maybe that's why they no longer have him, but it was such a great experience, and now it's just so bland and so boring. Don't get me wrong, I do like a cheeky Mackie D's every now and then. It's cheap food if I'm out and about in town or something. I'll go join a quick McDonald's, because it's cheap. You can get yourself a burger, chips and a drink for under a £5. Why not, But man, McDonald's has it's just the experience of McDonald's is no longer an experience. When I was younger, going to McDonald's was an experience. Nowadays, it's just, do you want McDonald's? Yeah, go on then. Yeah, and it's not because I've grown up. It's legit. Maybe you guys, maybe your McDonald's, or if you've got McDonald's in your area or country, maybe yours is still you know, the same. But from what I've seen, I've not seen many McDonald's really cater to kids, because McDonald's was a kids restaurant. It was a kid family restaurant, you know, fast food restaurant, might I add. Now, you know, you can get McDonald's ordered to your house, and man, it used to be an experience, and now it's just bland, boring. The food has gone downhill as well, I'll be honest. I mean, when I was a kid, I used to love it. Now it's edible, you know. It's not the best thing you're gonna eat, but you know, like I said, I do enjoy McDonald's every now and then. But man, I miss it, man. What have they done? Bring it back. And number 2, Blockbusters and video game stores. I'm going to be honest with you, I never really was into, you know, movies and stuff when I was a kid. I'd watch movies and stuff, but I never collected DVDs, and I had VHS tapes. For me, it was, I used to go around my aunt's house after school, and she'd have loads of VHS tapes. But at home, we didn't really have DVDs and things. We just had TV. I've already talked about my collecting experience and my experiences with DVDs and stuff like that. So if you want to check those videos out, just feel free to check them out. But going to Blockbusters, again, was an experience, you know. And Blockbusters was so cool. You'd walk in there, you'd have these big open areas full of movies and DVDs, and they'd have all of the popcorn and films showing on screens. You know, people would talk to you, and I used to rent video games from Blockbusters as well, and you could find some great deals. But I missed that so much. But the one that, while Blockbusters no longer exist, I believe there's one Blockbusters in the US, and I think they still operate online. But the one that really pissed me off is game stores, man. Nowadays, here in the UK, at least, we have a couple of retro game stores across the UK, but you have to really search them out. So now it's really, you've got 3 places you can get your media from: HMV, CEX, and Game. But back in the day, man, going to Game and Game Station, and we had one called Chips back in the day. If you ever had a Chips, let me know about that one. That was awesome. And it was so awesome. You'd walk in there and they would have games all over the place, you know, old and new games, and you know, they would be like, they'd have like kiosks, you could sit there and play a game, and you know, now Game is so boring. I hate Game. Literally, you walk in Game and it's just literally, don't talk to me about the prices. I think the prices in Game are overpriced to fuck. And I don't collect games anymore anyway, but you know, when you walk into a game now, it's literally just PS4, PS5, Xbox, because it's just Xbox One, Xbox Series, they're the same case, Nintendo Switch, and then just merchandise. Just literally, they do things like pop figures, t-shirts, plushies, Lego, Warhammer, and I'm thinking, you know, all of these lights and merchandise. I mean, don't get me wrong, you know, merchandise for video games is great and all, but they have stuff that isn't even video game orientated, and it's like, what? So instead of actually selling older video games and retro games and stuff like that, you're just getting rid of all of that to bring in just cheap plastic and rubbish, essentially, novelty items and stuff. I mean, merchandise, clothing, you know, stuff like that is fine, because if it's video game orientated, then fine. But it's like, what, you sell pop figures for like anime and stuff like that, and I'm like, well, this isn't video game orientated. Your store is called Game. You know, obviously GameStop in the US, our version is Game. There used to be Game Station as well back in the day, which was awesome. You know, there is another game shop where I used to live in Reading called Game City, if you've ever been there as well, and there's pawn shops. I mean, CEX, I love CEX myself because I can find some great movies and stuff, but again, going to these game stores and stuff like that was so awesome back in the day, because you'd see all these games around and all these kiosks. Now it's just crappy merchandise, electronic items that I have no interest in, and it's just not the same experience. Like I said, you can still buy some games and stuff, and I know a lot of people are like, well, why would we sell retro games? They've gone up in price. If you're a video game store and you're not focusing on actual video games, Retro video games are huge now. They're bigger than they ever were. But I don't collect them personally, and CEX do sell some retro games and that, but man, if you're a fan of going into game shops, if you find a local game shop, then by all means, but they just don't care anymore, man. And that's partly another reason why I stopped collecting games, is because I had no thrill of finding games anymore. You know, when I walk into a DVD shop and stuff like that, and I see CEX and see all these items, again, it's pretty bland. It's your basic, you know, just we're selling. They don't have any kiosks or anything like that. But it is what it is, and unfortunately, it sucks. Yeah, I hate it, man. Number 3, the cinema. Talk about a boring arse experience, man. When I was a kid, I used to love going to the cinema. My local Showcase cinema was awesome. You used to walk in, and you walk in, and first thing you'd smell is popcorn. You'd have that smell of popcorn in the air. They'd have an arcade. They'd have this huge pick-a-mix selection where you could choose and pick a mixture, stuff like that. And they would have huge like marquees and posters on the wall of classic movies like Metropolis and King Kong, and you know, these old movie posters. Now when I walk into a Showcase, it's like McDonald's. It's just bland as hell. No more marquees on the wall. No more pick and mix sections, at least not in the ones that I have. You know, I'll admit, I never used to buy the pick and mix and stuff like that, but it was awesome to see, you know. No more arcades. In fact, they have bars now. Yeah, bars in a cinema. I know they understand it. You got to understand that cinemas nowadays are more orientated for, obviously, people going on dates and stuff, so it makes sense that they try and make money from alcohol and stuff like that. But let's be honest, guys, cinemas when I was younger was just so cool, so family orientated. Now it's just bland, it's boring, it's overpriced. And I mean, with home media and streaming services, I don't feel the need to go back to a cinema, even on a date. I'd rather just go bowling or go out for a meal than go to the cinema. If you want to have a date night and watch movies, rent a movie, buy a movie, get yourself a nice TV, and boom, you can order some food in, get some popcorn. There's your date night, guys. You don't need to go to a cinema. Like I said, it's bad enough that they charge you ridiculous prices for food and stuff like that, but that was part of the experience, you know, because you're in this great environment, you know, it was so nice. But now it's just bland, it's boring. I mean, yeah, I mean, my local cinemas never have anything good on anyway. It's not that I really check, but I'd love them to do old school nights, you know, even once a week, old school nights, showing old movies and stuff like that. But yeah, man, the experience of the cinema is just, it's gone now. It's bland, it's boring. Maybe your local cinemas are different. I mean, for Showcase anyway, it's, you know, we've got 2 cinemas here in the UK. We've got Showcase and View. At least that's the 2 main ones we have in the UK, but Odeon as well. But yeah, it sucks. It's bland. It's overpriced. But when I was younger, I loved it, man. Up next, number 4, split screen and couch co-op gaming. Oh my god, I loved playing my games with friends when it was back in the day, having those stay up nights, having sleepovers and playing video games with your friend in the same room, you know, 2 controllers. You know, split screen gaming still exists, as we know, and obviously, you know, with what happened with COVID and everything, but nowadays it's mostly online. You know, games like Halo, Call of Duty, you know, they don't have split screen anymore. Why? You know, I know some of them might do, but it's like all of these great games we grew up with playing split screen and that no longer have that same experience. And maybe it's because, you know, I don't live with my friend anymore. But when I do see my mate and we're going away on holiday next year, I said I'm taking my modded PlayStation, we're loading up some retro games and we're just going to have some fun together. Even back in the day, you know, even if we were playing single player games, we take turns. We go, all right, here, you do a mission. Now, oh, I died. Now it's your go. Playing GTA together. Oh, I'm playing GTA. Let's go on a killing spree. You know, oh, I died. Here, your go. Playing Worms. My go, your go. My go, your go. Split screen couch co-op. Sitting there and playing a video game together overnight. Playing a co-op game. Playing it online is fine and everything, but you don't have that experience when you're sat next to your mate or a family member or whoever you're playing with, playing a game together in the same room. Yeah, okay, online you've got the big TV to yourself, fine, okay. You know, but there was something about that, you know. I know some games now are trying to bring it back and stuff like that, and I appreciate when game companies do that. I appreciate that. It's great. Couch co-op and couch split screen and versus, you know, sitting in the same room playing a fighting or a shooting game against each other, and you'd always be fighting around, messing around, like, oh, don't fuck up, don't fuck up. You'd be cheating, looking at their screen, you know, oh, did you look at my screen? No, mate, I knew we were going to come around there, you know, and then, you know, you had that competitiveness against each other. But then when you were playing co-op games together and you beat that hard level, you'd sit there, you'd shake each other's hand, you'd give them a hug, you'd be like, yeah, we fucking did it. Good you, my friend. All of that. God, man, that experience is just, it's gone for me now. Like I said, it depends, you know, it still exists. You can still do it. It's just a majority of games just aren't focusing on doing that anymore. You know, and unless you've got these older systems and you've got access to be able to play these games together, you know, back in the day, pretty much 90% of games that had 2-player could be played, were meant to be played in the same room. Now it's all online, you know, Xbox Live, PlayStation Network, Steam, online, Nintendo Switch, online. That's all fine and dandy, but you will never get the same experience. That's why I can't wait for me and my friend to go away on holiday next year in March, and we're just going to load up the games in the caravan, get my PlayStation, play some games, and just have a lot of fun. You know, even when he came up that time, a couple of months ago, when my partner was away, we came up and we played a couple of games together. We played Time Splitters together for old time's sake, and I loved it, man. It was great. But it's gone, man. That experience is just changed so much. And last but not least, online internet. The internet, man. Now, I know the internet is bigger now than ever, but when I was younger, man, the internet was 3 things. It was for me, it was like 2 things. It was literally flash games and social games. And nowadays, you know, Facebook on Facebook, I don't know if you can still do it on the computer because I haven't been. But we had all these flash games and social games like, you know, Habbo Hotel, which actually is still going. I actually seen an advert for it the other day on Facebook. I'm like, wow, it's still going. You know, but there was something great about playing these flash games and loading up your computer and going on all of these mini clip, which is actually just closed down recently as well. I know Flash was discontinued, I think, a couple of years ago, but I did see that someone has actually archived all these old Flash games, which is actually great stuff. Whoever did that, you're a legend, man, or woman, whoever did it. But back in the day, man, playing these flash games and playing these social games, and you'd be sat there on MSN or Skype or whatever, and you'd be sitting there on video cam with your friend playing, you know, Habbo Hotel or you know, Bin Weevil's Club Penguin, all of these things. Nowadays, man, social games are just on your phone, and I just don't have the same experience. Mobile gaming is great for the average person, you know, and, you know, I don't really play mobile games. I've got 2 mobile games that I play, Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes and Marvel Strike Force, and I wouldn't really say I've played them. They're more like just daily chores for me. You know, I log in, do all my daily mission, grind my characters up a little bit, rinse and repeat the next day, you know. And yeah, it really sucks, man, because the internet now is just, social media is just taken over. I think for me, social media is just Twitter, Reddit, fucking TikTok, and all of this. And I'm like, I don't care. You're watching people doing stupid things, and cringy things, and going, it's the best thing ever. You know, all these people making it big on the internet and YouTube and stuff like that. You know, when I was a kid, it wasn't about making it big on the internet. It was about just enjoying what the internet had to offer. Now the internet is just full of people that are just ruining the experiences for people, things being taken down, controversial bad news and fake news and drama and everything. And I'm like, come on, it just sucks now. The internet sucks, let's be honest. The internet sucks. And I mean, the fact that you can access most of it on your phone nowadays, it's not the same experience as sitting there, coming home from school, sitting in front of your PC and logging in. You know, you've been at school with your friends all day, and you're like, you know what? Let's talk on Habbo together, and let's mess around or whatever. All gone, man. All that's gone. Some of it still exists. Like I said, everything I've talked about today still exists, but it's a case of it sucks. So there we go, guys. There are 5 experiences that have changed since from the past to the present. Let me know, of course, if you enjoyed today's video. Of course, leave a like. Let me know some of your favourite experiences when you were younger that no longer they may no longer exist, or if they do exist, they kind of suck. Now, you know, I can think of a few more, but I don't want to overdo it. And as always, guys, subscribe if you haven't already. Tonight, I'm going to watch Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. I just want to do a small little update. Yesterday, a personal update here. My partner had to go into hospital yesterday. He's come down with a really bad migraine. So obviously, I phoned 111 and that, and they basically told me that she's got to pop in and go in to do some checks and that. And she's back home and everything. She's okay now. But they are basically hinting at perhaps labour could be starting. So I've made a guess. It's going to be sometime this week. I said it's going to be Wednesday, and the reason I'm saying it's going to be Wednesday is because that's the day that I have to go. I go out shopping, and I know that I'm going to be halfway through shopping, and then boom, you know. But I just thought I'd let you know that it could be this week. But if it happens this week, I will obviously do a small update. I believe I can actually post on YouTube now, YouTube updates and things like that. So. But there we go, guys. As always, subscribe if you haven't already, and join the family. Like I said, Austin Powers tonight, and I'm going to play some more Overwatch. I actually played a bit of Overwatch 2 this morning with my friend. And as always, guys, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.